anger drive is something completely different. Okay, so it's not anger drive; it's the aggressive drive. So basically, Freud believed that there were two basically drives that are very very strong in our psyche. One is the libido or the sexual drive, and the other is the anger drive or the aggressive drive. Initially, in his theory, he seemed to think that they were different and they didn't coincide with each other at all. But later on, when he's tried to explain sadistic behavior, for example, sadomasochism, or sexual behavior which is very violent, then he posited that the aggressive drive and the sexual drive start to mingle, and the energies start to mingle. In normally developing people, those energies would be different. But if those energies amalgamate and meet, then you could have a person who's sexually violent. And as you see, this happens in very few people. So it's not something which would happen very often. So it's a completely different drive. The aggression drive is a completely different drive. It's got nothing to do with the libido and the libidinal energy in that way. It's just a different urge. It's just a different uh, desire of the id.
Yeah, Shruti, we'll move to the next question. So this question is on addiction. Most men are addicted to, so a lot of men are addicted to smoking and alcohol.
Right.
Does this indicate that they all are orally fixated?
Yes, it could be. Again, like I said, it's a theory. We don't know because these theories have never been tested in a questionnaire format. Like, what you couldn't ask somebody, do you think you're fixated in the oral stage and that's why you smoke? Most people would not be able to answer that. But it's just a theory that Freud also had, and later on many psychologists also elaborated on that. It's somewhere a desire to remain in the oral stage and constantly have something either going out of the mouth or going into the mouth. Now, for example, I just gave the example of addiction, but like somebody had a question about fixations and examples. Now, because of this question, this example came in my mind. My professor told me once that she had a theory that even eating disorders were fixations with the oral stage. So this extreme overindulgence, binge eating, and then complete deprivation of food in anorexia. And most people with eating disorders, you'll see, they fluctuate between these two phases in their life. There'll be a year where they'll eat and binge and eat and binge, and they'll be 30 kilos heavier. And then suddenly they'll completely deprive themselves and be totally skinny, and they'll go to hospital because they're not eating. Same is with bulimia. Bulimia is the disorder where you actually eat and then make yourself vomit voluntarily. So the idea is that something goes into your mouth and then it has to come out. So the idea is that there is this energy which is being focused particularly around the mouth and the activities of the mouth. So yes, theoretically you could say that anything to do with addiction to food also, like eating disorders or even substances, according to Freud's theory, yes, they could all be fixated in the oral stage. There is no there is no reason to say that it's necessarily a mental health problem. An addiction to cigarettes, for example, is not really a mental health problem, but it's merely just a representation of how a certain behavior gives you comfort, and the comfort which you didn't get in childhood. That's it. It doesn't mean that it necessarily has to be a mental health problem.